Today is not about revenge. Today is about redemption. We were here last year taking on the Buffalo Bulls, and at one point we were up 21-0. But we let the Bulls hang around. And in fact, we let the Bulls draw that game back even, gaining all the momentum, flipping the script, and making us be the chasers late in the fourth quarter. But at that point, there was no stopping the stampede. The Buffalo Bulls would hit big play after big play and would steal Kent State's MAC title. Today will not be the same storyline. And that's because Coach Ty has put on his tie as we are set to face the Toledo Rockets. This time on paper, we are the favored team. But you do have to respect the fight of the Rockets. After a little bit of a shaky first two-thirds, they closed out the regular season with a 45-19 win over Eastern Michigan, a 38-23 win over Miami of Ohio. And to send themselves to the MAC title game, they beat Akron 24-10. But in battling to get themselves to this point, they suffered big injuries. And that includes the leader of the offense, starting quarterback Pierce Clarkson. The good news is their backup has had a few games to warm up. And it was those 3 late wins that Jake Wilder led Toledo and got them to the postseason. He's got solid enough accuracy, though it is limited, a strong arm, mixed with solid enough speed that he can move about that pocket and pick up some yards on the ground. But primarily, the ground is owned by C.J. Hester, the senior running back and captain. He's got great speed for the MAC at 93. He's got elusiveness with a bit of power added in. And that's all combined for near 900 rushing yards, about 6 yards a carry, and 14 rushing touchdowns. He's also had 10 carries of 20 plus. And then when you factor in the fact that this team runs 3 deep at receiver, with Zamarian Lang just about 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. You got Eric Holly III with again 900 yards, 10 touchdowns. And to cap it all off, you have Cameron Flowers, 1,160 yards, 12 touchdowns. But they do have a weak link on offense, and that is Bodie McCaslin. Starter at right tackle, he has given up a sack a game. That's who we need to attack. But attack is also what the Rocket defense does. 105 tackles for Maddox Arnold. They have 3 players trying to hit that double-digit TFL. Though the sacks don't necessarily come in bunches, they do pick up just over a sack a game. And if it's not Miles Thompson getting an interception, no one really is forcing turnovers. And that's great news for Mason Kelsay, because in these last 3 games, he has played a little bit more sloppy. But that is us being rather harsh here on the sophomore quarterback. All in all this year, he's played amazing football, near 2,500 passing yards for 25 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. And on top of that, he's ran the ball for almost 700 more yards, 11 touchdowns. He has 12 carries of 20 plus. And his partner in that triple option, Joquez Smith, the redshirt senior, would love to make the playoffs. And with his near 1,200 yards rushing in 13 touchdowns, we should be primed for that. But we're going to need more than just Tank Hawkins to show up to help win this game and send us to those playoffs, though he does have 16 touchdowns, over 1,200 yards, closing in on 1,300. And this defense, they've got playmakers. Colin Gill is playing at the top of his game. We've got 5 players in double-digit TFLs. And we're starting to see a bit more sacks roll in. Von Ingold with 2 last week, though we could definitely use with some turnovers. So as we head out to Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan, we look to pick up Kent State's first MAC championship since 1972. The Toledo Rockets stand in our way and in our way of college football playoffs. This must be our best game yet. And Coach Ty is here in his tie to help lead us to that perfect MAC record. As we are underway, Detroit, Michigan, Hassman with the return. Looks to take this right up the gut and will be the 22-yard line. The Golden Flashes take the field for the first time today. And it's their modern look here at the triple option that has brought this team to a highlight. They've been fun to watch, unlike many years of the past. And it starts with Smith on that triple option. He's got plenty of space outside. Taken out at the 44. Tack on another run of 20+ for him this season. And you're already seeing a big effect here as Toledo is stacking that box here. Mason Kelsay looks to have changed the play here, though. Quick pressure is thrown back foot and out of bounds. Very much was inside the pocket, not a receiver in sight. That's definitely not going to help you out. You're going to lose yardage and the down, though we might need to tell the referee to face the other way next time. So 2nd and 20 then. They do look to go to the air here under pressure, and it's popped up. So you hit for about 20 some odd your first play of this drive. Now you need 20 for the first down. Tank Hawkins in motion as they look to set up that RPO to the speedster, but there is no space. Toledo gives up 4 and asks for that ball. All in all, that is a great stand by the Rockets, and they will get that ball at the 29. We'll see what their young quarterback can do. He led them to 3 wins as a starter. He hands it off here to Hester, who picks up almost 20 himself. Refs do end up marking that one about a gain of 19. And it will be hurry up here for Toledo with a quick throw outside and slipping the tackle. There goes Lang. Reddish can't recover. A terrific start here for the Toledo Rockets. They take the lead after their defense got a quick stop after giving up a big play 1, flipping the script. And Kent State's going to have to recover. And in fact, it kind of looked like Toledo used the film that Dyer put up last week against Bowling Green to find the way to success. Triple option, quick pitch. That's Smith. Spin will not work. It was a great first play, but since then, the offense has gone nowhere. 2nd and 11 after they lose 1. A little bit of an RPO here. They still hand it off to Smith. He slips by 1, but not by the 2nd. And for Kent State, you got another 3rd and long here, though. Less than half of what they had to get last time. Now just needing 8. They get that hard count. Daniels jumps, forcing the refs to call that flag. And with it, that makes us a far more manageable down here. 3rd and 3. Referee still has to sort out which way he needs to face. They go back to that triple option. It is out. Smith will get that foot in the ground. Good block there, Tank Hawkins. Spin move. Smith. Now he's got to get on his high horse. 20, 10, 5. Kent State ties the game. We've seen big play touchdowns. We've not seen methodical drives. But at this point of the season, you take whatever you could get because you need all you can get. And for Smith, he just continues to rack up big plays. Now we need that defense to make those big plays. Starting with a spread empty look here, throwing backside. And that'll be a first down. Wilder has stepped in and has just dominated defenses. Following the injury to their starting quarterback, and they set up a tunnel screen right back to 81, and he's got another with a pop there at the end. But hey, you'll eat a few of those hits as long as you pick up first down after first down. Motion here, going back to the pass play, to the flat. Good tackle, stock still. They went with a dump off there to Hester, and they find just about 1. Play action this time, and Von Ingle bit in on the running back, leaving Wilder with space, though that ball is free, but recovered. And they're going to keep with that hurry up. 81, a couple grabs so far this drive, and a fumble recovery. But we know that we can force some fumbles if we get the hit. Back foot throw, and no problem. Laying back again. 2 deep ball touchdowns, and now you got to think perhaps you need to rotate around what corner is covering who. Because Rollison has gotten beat deep twice here, and that shouldn't have even been a possible throw. Wilder getting the job done even with pressure in his face. So Kent State stays trailing here. As it's back to that triple option, and a good play made by Thompson. Every other defender, they bit on the running back there, Smith, who had that previous touchdown. Thompson wasn't there. Who knows how far Kelsay's running. As he looks to run here, he throws to Tank, but he drops it. Right now, Toledo is having to make a whole lot of big plays out there to keep themselves in front. We just got to take advantage of what we can here. The 3rd and 7. Throws, Coates, broken up in tight coverage. Toledo closed the regular season hot, and they're continuing that momentum here. Wilder playing absolutely wild out there. The throw outside, and it's caught. That'll go a gain of 7 here for the Rockets. No change so far on the outside. Rolliston still playing off that left-hand side with the RPO, and he can't get the tackle, at least not cleanly. Good news, the tight end does fall down as they go with a little bit of some delayed handoff. Not going to get them much of anything there. Hester has had one good run. That's been about it. They go to him here, though, and it opens up with a pulling guard. And all these little short plays, short passes, runs, look to be trying to set up that big shot, but it's a big hit, Hester. He's going to feel every ounce of the loss on that one. Loss of 3, as it's a quick throw outside, looking for the tight end, and they've got him. He was left on an island out there, and Wilder is making some wild reads. A very impressive performance for just being a sophomore. Has all the time here, and with it, throws it away, though. Receiver in the area. That's really the big difference between what Wilder did there versus what Mason Kelsay did earlier this game. Handing this one off. Good stuff on the end. Reddish. He stepped down from that safety spot. Fill the edge. Now you got a little bit of change here for the Rockets. It's 3rd and 12. They look to set up a screen. Ellington flowing over. He will help get the stop with Reddish. He really stepped up his play there on that drive and does force a field goal right down the middle. Good thing to note, though, their field goal kicker has not attempted one more than 49 yards this season. That 44-yarder is good enough for a 10-point lead here. We still got time to go in the first quarter, so plenty of time in this one to bounce back with a pitch outside. Smith had a lane, and he will still pick up a good chunk of 8. Now we are going to see a little bit of some hurry-up coming from the offense. Typically not much of a hurry-up team, but guess when they've got to have it, they've got to have it. Mason Kelsay, he scrambles. He had Tank Hawkins for a moment, but he'll honestly probably get to where he would have been if he passed it. Right now, the Golden Flashes need to build off of whatever momentum they can get, including runs from their quarterback. Triple option pitch again here. Smith, he gets outside. Good block, Tank Hawkins by the 30, by the 20. He tried to slip back inside that safety as Tank Hawkins appears to be a bit banged up on the play. He scored more points than anyone outside of Mason Kelsay this season. That could end up being a big miss as they send Carrion in motion. He'll get the toss on what is normally a play for Tank. And it'll ultimately end up going as a loss of 3, as we might just be facing the final play here of the first quarter. Blitz is brought, thrown outside. Hassman with the angle has the touchdown. A strong drive there. Kent State needed to find that one down to possessions. And we've got a lot of points coming in here in the first quarter of your MAC title game. 17-14. You got to give big credit there to Hassman checking in for Tank Hawkins, getting that touchdown. Now, it does look like good news for Hawkins. We did see him on the sideline with his helmet. But this should be the final play of the quarter, and it's a strike outside. First down for the Rockets as we take a break here in Detroit. A tight ball game here, but we are seeing highlight play after highlight play. Time of possession is close, where Toledo has had more scoring drives. We got to make sure we get some more of those on this side. And that all starts with getting some stops on defense. Second quarter underway. It's Wilder with a big block there from his receiver, getting outside and just making a few people miss. Now, he's not one to have a whole lot of speed, but whatever speed and looseness he does have, he's been using it well here today. McFarland chooses the running back and leaves it up for a good play, Reddish. Our coverage has been a little suspect today. But you could tell by how worried the booth was on that one. 3rd and 5. Broken up Rollison. Not only did Kent State need that, so did Rollison. Good pass breakup, and we've got a chance to take a lead here with a good offensive drive. That pitch is just in time for Smith by the 40, the 50, the 20, the 30, the opposite 20, 10, 5. They're not gonna get him. It's a touchdown, Kent State. One play, they take the lead, 21-17. What an answer here for the Golden Flash. It was just out in time. Mason Kelsay took a massive hit, and it looked like Moore had the angle. He was hot on the steps of Smith the whole time, but Smith just able to keep that separation. And now the point separation is in favor of the team in all black. We'll see if they can keep a hold of that. The momentum is on their side, but Wilder's made some great plays as he feels the pressure and gets rid of it. For just a sophomore quarterback with now 3 games and a quarter plus a couple minutes under his belt, he's been playing extremely smart. He's been getting the job done with very limited success in the run game. Ellington there stuffs it. A 3rd and 11 for the Rockets. And that throw is incomplete with the pressure bearing down. The momentum continues to build here for the Golden Flashes. Starting their next drive at the 20. It's Dupree down the middle for 2. He's not been the luckiest of the running backs so far this year. Limited space open to him. A little bit more of that power back, fullback role here with that triple option. Throwing left side. That's going to be Coates. He's got the first down with help of the hit. Now it is important to note here, so far this drive, we have not seen Smith out there. It's been Dupree who gets the carry there. We'd be lucky if they call that back to the line of scrimmage. Does look like it is a little bit behind. Loss of 1. As they motion out that fullback, they do swing, and that's to Bailey. Good flow from the backer. And Kent State on this drive playing without Tank Hawkins, playing without Joquez Smith, and clearly struggling. Short motion right side, that is Hassman. Kelsay looks to step up. Kelsay's got space. First down, he slides down at the 45. Those look like we're going to have to try to get an update on the sideline in terms of those 2 players, Hawkins and Smith. But right now, Mason Kelsay trying to will his team downfield. The throw, that's Ivan Carrion, gain of 8. And he could provide a big impact today. A whole 6'6" frame if he could get going. He's got decent enough speed to make something happen, though that one swatted in the face of Kelsay. He needed about a foot or so more space to try to loft that one over. 3rd and 2. Back to that triple option. Kelsay tosses that ball up to the top of the dome, and it finally comes down and bounces off the back of Dupree. What is that? I can tell you at least what it leads to, and that's a punt. Rockets get a little bit lucky with some shenanigans on the triple option, and Hester now with space. He's got one of his biggest runs of the day. Started off with a run similar to that, but since then we haven't seen much. Read option, it's the quick throw outside, and it's the tight end with space, and he is rumbling downfield. Finally caught about the 24-yard line. Wilder in that quick throw game. He's finding a lot of success out there. Making a couple calls here. As it's right back to that option. A good block from his receiver. Nearly sprung him. But I'm sure they'll settle for just a gain of 9 there. As it's back to a little bit of some read option. They hand it off. Hester down the middle. First down. And they are set up inside the 10 here. They go quick. And Gilbert outside. Lang is in for his 3rd. With a safety flow over the top there on that RPO pass. It left no one on the inside to get the stop, and the Rockets retake the lead. And that's just how much a wacky pitch can affect the game. With 2:50 to play here in the first half, we still do not see Smith out there instead. Kelsay keeps it. He jukes by 1. He tries to get back outside before chased down. But if they're not going to get back Smith or Hawkins, they're going to need Kelsay to have a career game out there. He pitches it outside. That is Martin, who buys him enough time to at least find a gain of 1. That'll take us through the 2-minute break as they've got to sort out their offense. They're going to have to call on their final receiver here in the 3-receiver spreads. The 41-yard line. Quick throw, that's going to be Coates. Picks up a good block there from the running back in Dupree. Well, some of the receivers have done a great job this year in getting those down the field blocks. Some of the other players haven't. That is a big one to get. Screen pass going backwards. Cameron Davis Ross reads that play well, gets out there and shuts it down. Otherwise, there was blocking in front. Kelsay, he's going to step up here. Does not get the block. Does not matter. He will shut through the linebacker. And that'll be a first down for Kent State. They're right back to it here. Trying to make sure they get down the field. Cuts back towards the left and a big hit. That ball is free. Recovered Toledo. And Ivan Carrion is 100% injured on that one. A monstrous hit as he was held up from one defender, and that was just target practice. Hopefully we don't give Wilder too much target practice here to close out the half. Good tackle, open field. Toledo will call a timeout after that play. They do have 2 more remaining. Minute 2 seconds, though they still are on their side. RPO is a quick throw, and they're finding a lot of success off those RPOs. Coach Ty's defense has been playing a lot more off coverage. Perhaps they're going to need to change that here to find a way to take away that second option on these plays. And here comes McFarland with the sack. I don't know if that was supposed to be a blitz or not, but he read it and he sent it. And with how some of these drives have gone for Kent State, they're going to take that. No doubt about it. 3rd and 6. A lofted throw, swatted away. McFarland's back again. Big 2 plays there back-to-back for the transfer linebacker. It leaves some time for their offense. They've got to find a way to get down the field here. They started the opposite 22, 26 seconds. They've got all their timeouts. And it's going to be a scramble that only finds a couple. Coach Barrington with a quick timeout call. They still do not have Carrion out there. Hawkins also missing. Smith is gone. Dupree, he's the back. But they throw Hassman, who's got the first down. And it looked like they tried to go hurry up there. Instead, they decide to call the timeout. They're very much missing that speed element on this offense right now. They even have a tight end playing receiver right now. That's how thin they are. As they still stick with that play action. And that one looked to be sent to Harris. However, Kelsay took a shot on the release. Otherwise, they might have had him. He was breaking open over the top. Bunch to the right side, and we'll get a free 5 out of it here. Now they have 10 seconds left, and you want to be at least around the 40-yard line to try a field goal attempt. You only have 1 timeout remaining. Play action here. And Kelsay's going to just load up. This is out to Harris in a one-on-one. It's broken up, but a flag came in there late. It looked like the corner grabbed Harris's jersey. Now, this is not a spot foul. It's not the NFL. But it does give you 15, and it gives you right hash. Now, a transfer from the soccer team is in here for Coach Ty. A 64-yard attempt. And he looks to have the accuracy, but it comes up a few yards short as we send this one to halftime. A couple small errors coming from the Golden Flashes, and every time those errors have cropped up, Toledo and Lang have taken advantage of it. 4 targets, 3 catches for 3 touchdowns, and 98 yards. On top of that, Wilder is having an amazing game out there at quarterback. He's flinging that ball left, right, and center on a whole lot of RPO passes. He hasn't really handed that ball off. We've seen a little bit from the running game of Toledo. But right now, the running game and the deep ball for Kent State is under question. 2 receivers had to leave this game, and we haven't seen Smith since this last touchdown run. We're going to have to catch up with Coach Ty here as we enter the second half of play and try to get an update on where these players are at. But for Kent State's defense, injuries have not been the issue for them. They just haven't played too well. They'll have to have their defense make some big plays to start off, or Hester will have a big run down the middle. Once again, just no one there for the Golden Flashes. They've got to play a bit more disciplined here on defense. As they do go with that fake handoff, and they're going to pay for it. Abu Hamde takes down Wilder. He's been here day one for Coach Ty and is trying to will them to that first title game since 1972. As long as the defense continues to make plays like that, we could find it with help of the offense. The loss of 6 on first down. They go back to the run game here, and here comes Reddish. Great open field tackle there, and it forces this to a 3rd and 15. A quick stop to kick off the second half is what this defense has ordered up. With a quick throw outside, that one's caught for the first down. Rollison has had a massive issue today with Lang. It looked like that was supposed to be double man coverage on him, but for some reason only one DB was there. Rockets just keep making some big plays across the middle. Lang holds on. He is the glue to this Rockets team right now, as Wilder has him set up on the midfield line. He's making a call out here, facing the blitz and throws downfield. A bad miss there, Gill. DBs converge on the kneecap of the receiver. But down inside the red zone, inside the 10. As they will look to go hurry up here, leaving no time for Coach Ty to try to adjust his defense. They've just got to make some plays. 1st and goal. Hand it off. Hester taken down by the ankle grab as Syed Abu Hamde now injured. These are just stacking up for Kent State. But frankly, they've just got to take a next man up mentality. That's where Wilder came from, and he's done a great job here for the Rockets. Motioning over their tight end. Handing this one off, and it's a bad angle from the safety. And back to a 2-score lead here, the Rockets. A great opening drive that came with a couple pop plays to keep it alive and set them up for the touchdown run. And for the offense at Kent State, we don't have any good news here for you. Still no return to the 2 receivers or the running back. Coach Ty has said it's bumps and bruises, but right now those bumps and bruises are keeping the starters out of this one, as Martin picks up a gain of 5. So it seems like this game ultimately is going to come down to what Mason Kelsay can do. Can he will this team to victory? Right now they need a lot of points, and they need him quickly. Throw over the middle. That is Hassman. He's been there time after time for Mason Kelsay today. First down to the 43, and they'll look to keep things moving from there. Getting set back to it. Does look like the coverage is backing off here for the Toledo Rockets, standing 3 deep, about 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Kelsay rolls right-hand side. He throws. He finds Hassman, who takes no hit. And considering how this game has gone when taking those hits today, that might be a good choice for Kent State. They are back to it, though, flipping the look. Kelsay here on the keeper. He looks to get outside. He's got a bunch of green grass. More in pursuit this time. Does pick up the tackle down about the 17. So far, so good for Kent State. But they need to get this ball into the end zone. Play action roll, dumping to the turf. It looked like he had his running back out there, but just wasn't able to get it to him. Probably wouldn't have been for a big gain either way. As we've got motion out here at receiver, flip it to the outside. That's Harris, unable to hit the corner. The film work for the Rockets today has just been impeccable, taking away all the big plays of Kent State. However, they have had their fair share of penalties. Unfortunately for our head referee, practice does not make perfect. Still doesn't know what way to face. But it's now the 13-yard line and a 3rd and 6 here for Kent State. They try that hard count again. And Kelsay, he's gonna step up here. Look what he could get, and that's gonna be 6 points. They needed 6 yards for the first down. How about touchdown? But right now they are just begging their defense to make a huge play for them and get that ball back. This game will come down to what he can do and what the defense is able to get done out there as well. And it'll be the 17 where Wilder and the Rockets take the field. They've had a lot of success today. Ellington with success on that pass rush. 3rd sack of the game here for the defense. Meanwhile, the Rockets haven't had a single one. But what a time to show up. Bobby Ellington, another one of the transfers that Coach Ty has relied a lot on here to get Kent State to where they are. 2nd and 16, and that one's low. Even Lang, who's had nothing but success today, unable to catch that one. 3rd and 16 as they look to set up a screen. Hester dropped it. We'll take that. The opportunity needed is the opportunity provided. And punting from inside their own end zone, this is back to Harris. He's been the return man here for a couple years. He's got space here, right side, cuts back inside, and sets up the offense inside the 30. No excuses here. You got to find that end zone yet again. It starts with a bunch look to the left-hand side here. Mason Kelsay will look in, find his running back. That's Dupree out in space, bumped out at the 12. And I think he just tried to hit the thriller there. Then he went to go celebrate with the cheerleaders. I think you got to do a little bit more than just that one catch before you could celebrate with the cheer squad. But either way, we're going to take it here. As he had an option to throw there, he slips one. Good play, Mason. Chose to take the safest route rather than throwing. He had Hassman for a moment, but could have gotten into some coverage difficulties. Just kept it, got the job done as he floats for Bailey, and it's a touchdown for the fullback. Defense had to pick up the stop. They delivered that stop, and with that, the offense once again has delivered a lead here for Kent State, finding the true fullback of the squad on a lofted throw from Mason Kelsay. Now you just got to do the simple thing. Keep it up, because we all know that's oh so simple. Defense back onto the field. They got the 3-and-out last time, starting at the 20. And what a block from the receiver. Pushed out 2 defenders on the outside and set up that gain of 5. Absolutely terrific work. It's teamwork here right now for Toledo. And that's been a real big difference in this one. We haven't necessarily seen all those double blocks from Kent State, but we're seeing pass rush from everywhere. All but one sent. Get a hit in on the quarterback. And all those fans from the Kent side of Ohio here celebrating in Michigan with such a big play. Handing it off here, Hester. He's going to pick up a good chunk now. You got to imagine they'd go for it here. Or perhaps they were just looking for a safe play and just happened to pick up the chunk. Duran indeed does punt this one away. Defense with back-to-back stops. Harris, though, this time not going to set him up inside the 30. So instead, at the 40, the offense led by Mason Kelsay missing almost all of their big-time playmakers hit the field. Kelsay looks to get outside. He picks up the block from Martin. Kelsay down the sideline and skirts out, but still takes a hit with no flag. He was clear in the white, if not in the opposite side of the green. Absolutely no love from the referees. But we are inside the red zone. Handing this one off, it's Dupree. He picks up a block, and he drags a couple defenders for an extra yard or 2. As we close in on that fourth quarter break, should have time for one more play here with that 2nd and 1. Play action, rolling to the right-hand side. Kelsay will get what he can and take out the defender. If the referees aren't going to protect the quarterback, I think he's just going to start taking out the opposition as we head to the 4th, looking to find our first 2-score lead of this game. That time of possession is shifting. Right now, it's all Mason Kelsay offensively. Kent State missing almost all of their starters at the quote-unquote skill positions. They're playing tight ends at receiver. As we get the 4th quarter underway, it's at the 5. Rourke has checked in at running back. Kelsay bails outside, and he will have another rushing touchdown. Thank you very much. A 2-score lead. Kent State, as the sophomore quarterbacks here between these two teams are battling it out back and forth. And in a game like this one, no one can take their foot off the gas. Full send for about 9 more minutes. As this one is lofted, open target, Reddish beat in the man-on-man coverage, which they've had to switch to here in the second half with all those quick pass RPOs coming in from Wilder. Now we're going to see some adjustments, trying to take advantage of the adjustment. What Bobby Ellington is saying, you're not going to have the run. That is back-to-back runs in which he has stuffed. Loss of 2 for Toledo. They flip what side is the strong side as they send Hester to the left. Defense shades the opposite way. No, now there's going to be a motion out there from the running back. He's left on an island, and that's where they go. And he's going to get by McFarland, who tried to get out there to catch up to him. And Bobby Ellington, who's made a lot of big plays in the run game, is now going to head to the sideline. It's been a long season, and In many of the games, Kent State has not had to play a full game. A lot of easier fourth quarters. Today, they're showing some wear and tear. Ingold with a demolishing hit in on Wilder. He was free around the edge, and he put his helmet into the chest of the quarterback. Good news this isn't the NFL, otherwise that would have been a targeting. But it ends the threat of the Rockets, and we take back over, currently up by 11. It's back to a little bit of some triple option here. Mason Kelsay tried to follow that big block from Daniels. He still does pick up 8 in the process, but what a block from the tackle getting out in space. 2nd and 2, and the play clock down inside 5. They hand this one off Dupree. He finds that same lane, but can't hit for distance. I think at this point in the game, while you would love some distance, right now you also are primarily focused on just continuing to make big plays and keep that clock running. As Kelsay runs outside here, and he will just take it. Getting out of bounds, that's a late shove. Come on, refs. They are letting Kelsay take these extra hits. He tried to avoid it there, stepping out of bounds. That kind of in a way hurts his team as that clock paused for a moment. Kelsay outside here gets that flip. It's Martin, and he will have the rush credit for 6. At least for Kent State. He did see some playing time last year, running back too, so familiar with the role. As Dupree can't get by 2 defenders and the tackle. On a 3rd and 3, inside 4.5 minutes to play here. It's a heavy set. They try the hard count this time. No one jumps. Play action, roll to the outside. Throw short. Caught by Arnold. What a snag from the senior tight end. That one was needed to keep this drive alive. They can continue milking clock plus side. Handing this one off, it's Dupree down the middle. He's got 8. And with a 2nd and 2, we'll see the 3rd running back check in now. That is Rourke with Smith out. And he'll get his first carry that we have seen. Back plate and all, but does not have the first down. Instead, Toledo calls their first timeout. They have 2 timeouts remaining. But it is 3rd and 1. And it's Kelsay from an empty set. He'll take this down the gut. It's a first down. And if they could just waste one more here from Toledo, there's no stopping that clock outside the 2-minute break. Fullback love here. It's Bailey down the middle, rumbling for the first down. The final timeout for them will be forced there. Inside the 10, it is 1st and goal. And they'll go right back to Bailey. No rush that time. Kent State will take whatever yardage they get and run that one inside 2 minutes. And inside the 5 here. Keeping with the 3 hands down, it's right back to Bailey for another short gain. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would love to just run this clock out. Too much time left with the downs they have available. They snap that ball 1 second. Bailey tried to cut right. He didn't see the safety coming down. Coach Ty will let that clock run down, calling the timeout. But on top of that, they then follow by also taking the delay of game, making this a bit of an easier field goal attempt to make this a 14-point game. Pressure around the edge, and they hit the kicker. The field goal was good, but our kicker and Curtis just got laid out. I guess Toledo just wanted this to be an 11-point game because we will kneel this game to victory. Thank you very much, Rockets, but what a performance they put up here against us. 42-31. I feel like the end score line here is a little bit more separated than how this game truly went. A good battle all the way through. But for the first time since 1972, Kent State is your MAC champions, and a lot of credit has got to go to the man on your screen, Mason Kelsay. What a performance, missing all of his offensive weapons. He got the job done, and the defense started to shut down that run in the second half. The DBs stepped down, broke up some passes, and we took that game in the 4th. And isn't it nice to see the banner that proves it? And with picking up that dub, we welcome in some recruits. Dexter Wilkins from Fort Worth, Texas, the 3-star interior offensive lineman, commits to Coach Ty. And also prior to this game, we also landed the commit from Steven Dickerson, the pass protector 3-star. And Quentin Reddish, he takes the MAC Defensive Player of the Week. He came in clutch there to kind of get that turn going from where defense was playing poor to finally starting to make those plays. And of course, Mason Kelsay, MVP of that game, is taking home the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, only showing his passing stats here. But we know his running stats very much helped us out. And it's time for some awards, as our OC in George Simmons takes home the Broyles Award for Coordinator of the Year. And we are also awarded to play against Oregon, the number 5 team in the country, in the college football playoff for the first time in Kent State history. Oh my, how far we have come here with Coach Ty, and he's going to be rocking that tie until this season comes to a close, as we have to now go play the Ducks. Competition from here on out is going to be on a whole other tier, higher than almost we've ever played in this series. The only team we have played in the series that is currently on this board is Pitt. Now, we did beat Pitt, but if we are to seed them again, we have to beat Oregon. Notre Dame and Bama come in at the 9-8 spot. Baylor and Nebraska 11-6, and behind my head, Michigan 10, Clemson 7. LSU, Miami, USC, and Pitt, they all got the bye. We'll see if we can make it to the Fiesta Bowl next time, as we've got to first get through Oregon. And the biggest questions, I'm sure, right now are our players healthy? Well, no player is moving on with any injuries, and I honestly checked at halftime, and I didn't see an injury listed for Carrion, for Smith, for Hawkins, but they were not out there. And if we check wear and tear on them, right now it's low. Now we have moved forward a few weeks, but their season and career health are not necessarily great, at least starting with Joquez Smith. You can see that bar, it is in the orange. It is high for him. Now, we are in a critical time of the season, so perhaps we might need to see a little bit more rotation with these running backs and try to keep him healthy. But we need him out on that field. We also very much need Tank Hawkins. Now, he's in a better spot. It's not necessarily great, but his season health right now is slight. So we're in a better spot, and we're going to need his speed out there, because we saw how not having speed out there against Toledo really affected the offense. And as for Ivan Carrion, he seems to be just fine. He took a nasty hit in that game, and I think that was why he was out. Basically got high load. I'm sure that ankle, the leg, the knee, whatever it was not feeling good. But next time we go to win or go home. Facing the Ducks, they are 91 across the board, far higher than anything we rank at. However, if you look at what the teams are doing, we average more points per game, more yards per game, more rushing per game. This, I feel, is going to come down to the defense. Does the good defense show up, or does the bad defense show up? Because we've seen both this year. Leave some support for them in the comments by hyping them up. And also make sure you are here for the college football playoffs by hitting that sub button in the bottom right corner of your screen if you have not already. It's the bear icon. Or you can scroll down and hit the YouTube sub button. They both do the exact same thing. Make sure you're also thumbing up the video if you enjoyed it. And if you have the option, hit the hype button there as well. Bell notification as well, so you're notified of when this video goes live and when all the other videos go live, including the New York Giants, also looking to put together a mighty fine second season. We'll see you back here on Monday for some college football playoffs.